What's up, family? We are back again for our Hill Holiday series. Tonight, we are going to be talking with my friend, Queen Keiani, about her book, about her poetry. She's such a talented creative. I'm really excited for this interview. What's up, family? I see you coming in. Once you come in, be sure to share the live with as many people as possible. I'm going to take my time and do that right now. Share the live with as many people as you can, okay? And then we're going to get started in just a few minutes. Share, share, share. Let's see. Share, share, share. I'm going to get started in just a few minutes. Okay. What's up, family? I see you coming in. Hello, hello, hello. We are going to get started. Hold on, let me add.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
What's up? Oh
What's up,
Lord.
family? Be sure to share the live with as many people as possible once you get into the live. How you feeling, Keiani?
Oh girl. It's been a week, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Look, that's how I'm feeling too.
Girl, I'm trying to wind down. I don't know. I just feel it's a little antsy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Okay, so if you've been following the Hill Holiday series so far, you know that Instagram is hating a little bit. So what I'm going to do for this live, I'm going to ask the first half of the questions. I'm going to end the live, and then I'm going to bring it back. That way we can get all of the footage saved.
Okay, bet.
Okay. Okay. What's up, family? I see you coming in. Old people, new people. Be sure to share the live with as many people as possible. We are here today with Miss Queen Keiani. Okay, so while people are coming in, we can just get started by you telling us or giving us a little bit of insight on your creative.
On my creative journey. Okay. First of all, if y'all hear a bunch of noise in the background, I have two boys and they are lit. So yeah. But anyways, creative journey. I started writing poetry when I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally still have my first poem I ever wrote. Um, Basically, I had a friend who was just a hater friend at the end of the day. And I wrote a poem about it because she really hurt my feelings. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, dang, I thought we were friends. And so I wrote about that. So I guess you could say it was like my first heartbreak, was from a friendship. And so I wrote about it. And I remember I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, I wrote a poem. And she was like, huh? Like, I didn't know you could do that. And I was like, me either. But, I spit the poem to her. And something strange just happened. Like, she teared up. And I remember her just being like, wow, like, you explained that so well. Like, and it was, I think just getting that type of emotion as a child out of an adult was like
Yeah.
life changing for me, to be honest. And I felt that feeling, I wanted to just hold on to it and keep it. So that's what I set out to do. And then from there, a lot of my creative journey has a lot to do with music. They go hand in hand for me, and specifically hip hop, specifically Kanye West. Okay.
Okay.
Um, because like I remember as a child like studying lyrics to songs. I would like print them out. I would highlight
Me
metaphors,
too.
similes. Yes, see, you a poet, I
Mm-hmm.
would I would take my favorite lyric from the song and like put it on a lyric wall. Like I had all these, I used to write like the name of the song in big letters in the middle of the paper, and then all the lyrics to the whole song I would just write around the title, and it made like this cute little art thing. Either way, I was obsessed with the lyrics and music. So that is where I feel like the poetry and music started to connect for me. So yeah.
So tell me, how has poetry been beneficial to your mental health?
Um. Okay. So I remember. Yes, sir. What you need? Remember I said I need a minute?
Have a snack.
You can have an apple or an orange or a banana.
And not muffins?
No.
Why?
Because you just had candy. I need minutes to myself though, okay? Thank you. Close the door, close the door, close the door. Uriah. Okay. So in terms of like mental health,
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in English class and we were talking about, I was like in 7th grade at the time, and we were talking about introspection. And I just became obsessed with that word. Like, and it basically means like going within self and figuring it out, you know? And poetry did that for me. So in terms of mental health, me writing a poem is like me meditating. I'm getting my thoughts out. I'm figuring out, you know, the source of whatever is going on with me mentally. You know what I'm saying? So it has significantly impacted my mental health in the best of ways to just write it out. And it's I'm not really a journaling type of person. I try to be, I really do, but it just ends up being poems.
I'll see you later.
Yeah. Yes, and he definitely left the door open. Close the door on your way out.
But yeah, what I love about
Why did
what I
you
love about
take
you
it,
as a
Mommy?
poet is that you're able to still write yourself, because that's something I struggled as when I first started off with poetry, saying I struggled with saying I in my poems. I felt like I always had to create this persona of she or he or just anything to make it not as personal. And I had to work myself up to that as an adult. So for you to be able to do that at such a young age and still carry that on today is wonderful.
Oh, thank you. And I actually find it hard to write in other perspectives.
Yeah.
Because for me, poetry is like that mental health release, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, to further in my creative journey, I have tried to like stretch my perspectives a bit so I can write more, you know what I'm saying? Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes, you know, when you just write from yourself, it can start to get limiting, you know? And also, it's just, if you want
And
to,
triggering.
you said what?
And triggering too.
Yes, yes, because like every poem doesn't have to be, you know, this sad doom and gloom, you know. And I feel like a lot of the times, especially early on, my poetry came from like those hurtful places because like we just mentioned, it was like that mental health release for me.
Therapy.
Yes, yes. So my challenge in my adult life is really stepping outside of that and figuring out even other topics to talk about that don't necessarily have to do with like how I directly feel about something.
I love it. I love it. So we just had Uriah in the camera, you know, he's a superstar. Tell me about your journey with your two beautiful boys, Chris and Uriah. How do they play into your everyday routine?
Man, listen. They To be transparent, I did not plan to be a mom, like in life. Like we're not even talking like the moment they came. Like I wanted to be the rich auntie. That was my goal because I felt like I had shit to do. I want to do my thing. I want to travel. So when they came into my life, it was a huge stop. Like, and I'm the type of person like I can work 12 hours straight, no breaks. Like I can just hone in and focus in on something and I won't stop until it's done.
Yeah.
But when you have kids, you can't do that. Like there's constant interruptions. So I've had to learn how to create through these constant interruptions. Like, you know what I'm saying? From as small as I need my nose wiped to you got to take them to school, or they got sick, you know, whatever the case may be. You know, I don't have as much freedom to like sit with myself and focus. I don't know about
Yeah.
anybody else's writing process, but for me, I need like uninterrupted time to like write. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like get my thoughts out. Like I love to be locked in a room somewhere, just yeah, silence and just write, or have some music and it's just me and writing.
Yeah.
So when you got, you know, a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old running in and out the room, it's just, you know, it don't.
But you know, you're like super mom though. Like, just I don't know if anybody's been on here and like seen Keiani in person with her kids, like, you know, she's just that super mom. Like, she's always attentive to them. Like,
Oh
even when they get on her nerves, like, you
yeah.
know, you feel that mom, and I feel like they're gonna forever appreciate it.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, to even highlight that a little more, so the role of motherhood is so humbling.
Yeah.
Like, and we talk about introspection, child, honey. These kids, first of all, they'll call you out on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the other hand of that is like when I sit with myself, that role of me being a mom is now what I have to address. So it's this whole other aspect of myself that I have to dig up. You know what I'm saying? And some more shit I gotta fix. And you know, when you get in a relationship, people can pull that out of you. But when you're a parent, especially at the capacity that I am, it's like,
Yeah.
man, you are constantly healing and growing. You are constantly facing yourself and trying to do better. Well, you know, depending on what type of parent you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it has affected me in a lot of positive ways. I feel like it has made me a better woman to be a mother. It has brought out the most feminine side of me ever to be a mom. Um, so I'm enjoying it. There's some moments I get frustrated though, but I'm learning to just enjoy every moment of it and embrace myself.
Tell me a little bit about their personalities, because they're completely different, but at the same time they're the same.
Right. So Christopher is my oldest. Christopher is like good at everything type of child. Like he
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of my brother. Because like Christopher is very intelligent as far as book smarts go. He's very athletic, full of energy. He's also an artist. He loves to build things like Legos and stuff. Like he was building his own Lego kits at like 5. Like he could follow the picture and just build them. And so, you know, he has a very creative mind on top of all the intellect. So it's very, I don't know, he's a people person. Oh my God. Like if you know me, I am not the type to say hey to every new person.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally trying to like not shrink, but you know what I'm saying? Like in and out type of person. Like Christopher was like 2. We would go grocery shopping. This little baby is saying hey to everybody that walks past.
Everybody.
And now I got to have a conversation with people because they're like, oh, this baby is so cute. And he said, hey, and you know, my son, Christopher, really pulls me out of my shell a lot socially because he is such a social butterfly. But Uriah is definitely more reserved. He's more like me as far as like, he likes to have his time to himself. He is very creative. Like he loves to draw. I remember when I was getting my master's at A&M, I was in class. I used to have to go to, you know, class and stuff, and I used to have to bring Christopher and Uriah with me to class. And at the time, Uriah was 3 months old, and it was my brass instruction class. So basically, we were learning how to play brass instruments. And so my instructor was like telling us when you play a brass instrument, you buzz, which is
Yeah.
like going like that.
Yeah.
So we were all in the class doing it, and he started to play his trombone to show us. And Uriah at 3 months started going every time the music was playing. That's what he was doing. And like that could seem small, but like as he's grown up, I've just seen his connection to music just like that, you know? So I just feel like he's gonna be my really creative child. Like they both are very creative, but that's really his niche. And he's very like once Uriah warms up to you, he's really chill
Sweet.
and loving. But like if he don't know you, he gonna be a little reserved, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so let's get into you being from Huntsville because you're from here, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so tell me what experiences have you gained being a creative here in Huntsville?
So I grew up in Harvest, which is very close to Huntsville. It's like the countryside of Huntsville.
Hmm.
And so I got a lot of inspiration from just being out in like peace and quiet in the countryside. Now, Huntsville itself, I have to admit, I've struggled creatively here. This has not always felt creatively like a home for me. And I
Yeah.
talk about that in my book, Spilled Milk. It's actually the first poem.
Yeah, it's the first poem.
Yeah, because I felt like so much of my childhood was here, but unfortunately, some things in my childhood just weren't wonderful experiences. And so I felt like being home was just full of a lot of pain for me. And I just felt like creatively, especially when I was in high school, there was nothing here. Like people, I don't know if anybody on here is from Huntsville, like 10, 15 years ago, child, trying to find an open mic in Huntsville was like, it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
We weren't having live shows and stuff like that. And if we were, it definitely was not for like our age group, like being in high school. You feel me? So
Hmm.
like growing up, I always wanted to go to open mics, go to poetry slams and stuff, but they just weren't here. And so again, I really struggled creatively here. But in my older age, as I've gotten older, I'm so proud of my city. Because, like, Huntsville is really coming up on the art scene, and
Yeah.
specifically the Black art scene. Now, Black people in art have always been in existence here.
Mhm.
But I think that we're coming out of this shell that we've been in. I think it's been kind of clicked up for years, and I think that with new opportunities coming to the city, a lot of people are figuring out, yeah, we kind of need to come together so that we can show a strong presence in this city. And so
Yeah.
I'm actually really proud. And honestly, Sound on the Hill, I'm not just saying this because it's UCC, but like Sound on the Hill has helped cultivate a lot of the growth that we've had here in the art scene because of the events y'all throw, because of how you support the local artists. And I feel like you're like part of the hub that brings people together to figure out, well, what is going on creatively around here? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So Huntsville is growing on me in the creative scene. It's growing on me.
Okay, so with that being said, what do you feel like the current growth the city is going to bring? Like, what type of beneficial things would you like to see for Huntsville?
I would love to see more for our youth here.
Mm,
I personally have some plans and goals to reach out to our creative youth to just give them the support that I did not have when I was in high
yeah.
school. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
one thing I love about Birmingham, and I'm mentioning Birmingham because I grew up my adult life, part of my adult life was spent in Birmingham when I
Mhm.
went there for undergrad. And I remember coming across a poetry group. I cannot think of the name of it right now, but they basically supported young poets in high school, and they took them to like Southern Fried Festival and all these different poetry slams around the country. They would raise money. They would have these little events, and I just was in awe. And I was like, man, if I had something like that growing up, I don't know where I would be with my poetry right now.
Yeah.
So for our city specifically, like Mario Maitland, I love what he's doing with the Maitland Conservatory. You know,
Shout out to Caitlin Conservatory.
that is so innovative. You know, you have all these opportunities for young people to come in and learn how to make beats, learn how to play instruments, learn how to be sound engineers, audio engineers. Like that is beautiful, and I would love to see our city do that, so that way we can send these young creatives out into the world, and they can come back and represent our city. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
love their city at that because of the support that they got growing up. Because I
Yeah.
feel like for me, low key, if I would have popped in college, you feel me? Like if I would have my name would have got out there and shit, I don't know if I would have came back to Huntsville like that. I'm gonna be real, because I didn't feel like I had love here. I didn't feel like
Yeah.
I had that creative space here. And so I would hate to see our beautiful young Black folks, you know what I'm saying, get this inspiration and go off to another city and call another city home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that I'm in this age and position to pour back into my city, I want to do just that. And I love that I've come across a lot of creatives from Huntsville that want to do that same thing, like Mario Maitland. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Isabel Academy. Like, come on. Like, that is beautiful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What's up? Because, you know, like, the reality is, yes, you can't get a water bottle. The reality is the youth, they are leading the way creatively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're a lot more creative than us. Okay, you can't get a snack, but you can get a water bottle. They have a lot more creative
Ambition.
and, girl, all that, the hunger, the drive, all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
so as you know, we kind of becoming the old heads, which
I know.
I've made my peace with that. But like,
It is what it is.
it is what it is, right? We gonna be beautiful. You know, Black don't crack anyway. So, but I just feel like I can't wait to be in a position to really reach back and get a young Black girl that is spitting some fire poetry at the age of 14 and just honing in on her and supporting her and loving her into her own personal growth and success. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, that's like top tier in life. You feel me? That's where I feel like, okay, I've made it. I'm in my purpose. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So I feel like all the creatives around my age right now, part of our responsibility as we are putting out our creative stuff is to reach back or have some plans to, so that this can continue. This needs to be a revolving energy, you know, for our city. Because like I said, growing up without that was difficult to stay motivated in this craft. So
I love it. Okay, so we have a question, and then after you answer this question, Keiani, we're going to end the live and start a part 2, so that way we can save part 1.
okay, but
This question says, what's the larger culture of Huntsville like as it pertains to art? Does the infrastructure exist and Black people don't have access to it?
child, hold on. Let me close the door so I don't get interrupted as I answer this. Child, it's so funny you say that, and that's my friend that wrote that, Taylor. She's amazing, by the way. I talked about this in my poem, though. Like,
You do.
let me just say the line, because
Shout out. This is Keiani's book right here. We're going to talk about this in part 2. Look, I've read this book twice already.
oh,
I have. I love it.
so in the poem, I said, I started listing these things that I didn't like about Huntsville, and one of the things I said was, I hate how she hides her art in downtown whitewashed open mics and galleries. And it's just like, I wrote this poem like 7 years ago. So like, I was in my early 20s and still felt that way about my own city, because I feel like, yes, there were spaces for us. Like, and I'm not, you know what, I don't care. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. You know, Low Mill came and it was great and it was wonderful. But I felt like a lot of Black artists were not being represented there. Now you see more, but like, there were like poetry events and stuff.
It was hidden. It was hidden. Because I went to a few of them when I first got here in 2013, 14. It was this poetry event at Low Mill called the Flying Money.
Yep, that's the one I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah, and all of the college poets used to go there because if you won the poetry slam, you get a roll of quarters. So everybody who stayed on campus wanted those roll of quarters so they can wash their clothes.
Yep. I just remember going to a few of them and not feeling as comfortable in my Blackness as I wanted to. And so that's what I mean by these whitewashed open mics and galleries. Like, this idea that like certain topics concerning Black.
How do you put this in socks?
certain topics just about being black, you know what I'm saying, was just looked at as like, ooh, oh my gosh, you know, instead of like, this is art and this is a perspective that needs to be heard. And even now, like, I was asked to do an event up here, which it ended up not happening, but you know, I had to ask. I found myself asking, what topics can I talk about? You know, because it was being put on by a,
I
a white organization. And I just felt like, can I be my black self? Can I talk about my black experience? And the answer was no. It was like, well, like I was given like a list of things, not only that I couldn't talk about, but I couldn't curse, I couldn't. And so again, you know, yes, there is infrastructure for it, but just like a lot of systems in this country, if you are black in a certain space, there's this limited perspective that they want, you know what I'm saying? So that people who contributed to the fucked up systems and whatever don't get uncomfortable. And the thing about art is it is an expression. It's for us to express ourselves and our perspective. And as black women specifically, we got a lot of shit to say. And for somebody to put a thumb on it and say, okay, not that much, just this much, or just this
a little
topic.
bit.
Right. It's that's what I didn't like about my city. And so again, when I'm in a position, I plan to create a certain vibe and culture that I know young girls like me are gonna need.
Yeah.
And young black boys.
I love it. Okay, we're gonna end this live. Everybody who's on here, hold tight. We're coming right back, okay, for part two. See you in just a second.